evening, Empire. I'm Graph Journal Demo, and I'm bringing you the news from IUs. Now, today we have a special broadcast, and it's about fake news. Now, there's a lot of fake news out there. You have to believe me, but not at the evil broadcast network where what we tell you is the truth. Now, it has come to our attention that there's some librarian in Greyhawk, goes by the name of Wiki, and he's been saying some really awful things about our Lord and Master. So, let's talk about that. This cannot stand. When we have words about the Master, what? We still only have one camera? I sent that budget thing over. What? Good Evil doesn't need a budget? Did he see those numbers from the guild? It's getting pretty expensive. Oh, that's why he said. So go with the chair thing? Okay, yeah, no, the chair thing. He likes that? That's good. I like that too. Hold on. Fake news. This is what we're going to talk about today. Some librarian in Greyhawk named Wiki has had some very horrible things to say, and we're here to fix that. Now let me just read this. Okay, this is what this guy says. IUs. You start with that? Proper noun? Makes you seem kind of familiar, doesn't it? Like you thought you was friends with that cool guy that you love to run into at parties. Let me tell you what, Mr. Wiki, you will never be invited to those cool parties because you're a nerd somewhere in Greyhawk telling lies. Anyway, that was just the first word. Triggered me right away. IUs. Lead with the IUs. Come on. Let me finish. Let me read this here. IUs is the half-fiend or Cambrian. Well, which is it? Half-fiend or Cambrian? I mean, pick one. Why you gotta be slapping all these labels out there like that? I mean, just using the word fiend in a party sense gives you a very bad negative connotation. This will not stand. Anyway, let me continue. Demigod son of Grost, a demon lord of the abyss. All right, well, at the time that was true. When he was born, he was a demigod. But let's just put this out there. Demon Lord Grost is a cool dude. He's a badass. You could do a lot worse for a dad. I mean, he's got his own lair in the abyss and the human witch Igrild. What's this with all the names? Human witch. You don't need to say all that. You can just say the coolest mom we can even think of. He goes on. Originally described as a very handsome... All right, let's just fucking stop right there. First, our Lord is immortal. He can choose what he wants to look like at any time. And that is why he is going now by that cool guy that you love to run into at parties. I'm not even going to read this next part. It's so slanderous. Pure fucking slander. Now, he goes on to say, his weapon of choice is a whip and a great sword. Well, yeah, that's badass. It's like Gandalf and a Balrog had a baby. It would look like that. That dude you love to run into at parties. He's amazing. Or I use the evil. and worshipped as the god of deceit. Now, hold on right there. And worshipped as. What the fuck does this mean? Does that mean he's not these things and people are just fucking making it up? No. Our boss is the god of deceit, pain, and oppression and evil. Now let's talk about that evil, though. Evil is the goal, but it's not really that important. I mean, the really important term in that phrase is the one singular evil. That's what's important. I use the I use. Evil is just kind of something that happens along the way. Now, this next part, I just can't even with this. Listen to this. I'm going to read you this word for word. He is considered the enemy of every sane and free person in the planet and every religion except his own. You forget about anybody there, fucking Wiki? You be a little bit more inclusive? A little bit more damning? I mean, really, that's just fucked up. And he holds a particular hatred for Zagig, Vecna, and St. Cuthbert. Yeah? So what? Who doesn't fucking hate Cuthbert? He's a dick. And let me add to that list, Fultus. Yeah, you know that guy drives up over the hill with his fucking brights on in his carriage at night, gets you right in the eye and blinds you? That's fucking Fultus. We hate that dude so much. And elves. We don't like elves either. But not you. We love you. In other news, an upcoming visit by Kranzer has everybody excited. But we have a couple of announcements that you need to take into consideration to have a happy and safe blood moon. Last time we had a blood moon, we made the streets run red with blood. And we liked that. That was great. But we know you can do better. So, find your favorite victim and slit their throats at midnight on the night of the blood moon. And if you have a problem with that, just pretend it's somebody that you don't know and that you're playing a game. Preferably uphill. No shopkeepers this time, though. We had a real problem restaffing. And no looting. Thank you. The point is that we want a river of blood this time. We need to show them that we know how to party. And don't forget the blood murals. The second thing that we need to talk about are the nightmares. Now, I know that it's really hard that when you see these flaming beasts dragging this carriage across the sky, naturally the first thing you're going to want to do is just chuck a flask of oil at them and catch them on fire. We know that they're fireproof, but that's not the point. Throwing flasks at horses is bad because sometimes the buildings catch on fire. And we don't want all of our buildings to be catching on fire just because you wanted to lob a little bit of oil and have a nice fire. It's entertaining, but restrain yourselves. So if you can do these two things, we'll have a happy and safe blood moon. This message brought to you by the Evil for You campaign. Wow. 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 And now, the final word. Like the chair thing? That's good, right? And now, the final word. There's lots of talk about evil and how things aren't necessarily evil. Some works, might not be evil. Some drow might not be evil. Ours might be. Not really sure, but we're pretty positive our drow are very evil. Some vampires might not be evil at all. There's this one guy named Lestat. Pretty nice. I didn't see him as evil at all. And then there was those kids in the school that were vampires. Many redeeming social qualities that they had. And let's not forget those vampires of the trailer park. They weren't evil, were they? The point is this. Evil isn't always necessarily evil. The kind that we do is, because why fucking bother otherwise? But you get my point. Thank you very much for tonight, and hail, liars!
Wow.